welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Claire, this is 4 Horseman combo. 4 Horseman is a deck shrouded in controversy, because although all the cards in the deck are legal in the Legacy format, it is illegal to play this deck in paper tournaments due to the rules of how tournaments work. Today's video is the last video you're going to see me play with Grief legal in the format, or whatever it is they choose to ban on August 26th. The format will look totally different. It seemed like the perfect time to take a wild swing. And let's talk about 4 Horsemen and why this deck has so much controversy. The combo is simple. Mesmeric Orb. Whenever a permanent becomes untapped, its controller mills a card. Basalt Monolith. Taps for 3, untaps for 3. Giving you unlimited untaps, which means you have unlimited mill ones. It would be very easy to just mill a bunch of Narcomoebas and then dread return Thassa's Oracle and win with an empty deck. However, this is not Cephalid Breakfast. This is 4 Horsemen. There are 2 Emrakul the Aeon's Torn in this deck, who, when it goes to your graveyard, you shuffle your graveyard into your deck. Why would you include a card that shuffles your graveyard away in your graveyard combo deck? It is for resilience versus graveyard hate. If you were to mill over your Dread Return and your opponent casts Surgical Extraction, you could then tap and untap your Basalt Monolith in response to Surgical Extraction until you hit an Emrakul. Then your graveyard shuffles away, Surgical Extraction fizzles, then you start tapping and untapping again. This deck is resilient to graveyard hate as long as you have extra mana floating or an untapped monolith to go again over the top, which is easy to set up if you suspect a card like Surgical Extraction. However, that creates the issue that this loop is non-deterministic, meaning what we need to do is get 3 Narcomoebas into play, a Dread Return, and a Sir Conrad the Grim in the graveyard before we hit an Emrakul. If you have the Narcomoebas and the Dread Return, but then hit Emrakul before Conrad, the Dread Return shuffles in, and now you have to go again and mill until you have a Conrad and a Dread Return in the graveyard before you hit an Emrakul, which is all just random. And although, as we will demonstrate in this Magic Online video where the rules are different, you will eventually get to that spot, and it honestly doesn't even take that long. The Magic tournament rules say you have to be able to describe what the game looks like at the end of a specific number of loops. A deck like Bomberman combo, where you're sacrificing and rebuying Lion's Eye Diamond, you could say, I'm going to do this 1,000 times, I will have 1,000 mana floating, and the board will look like this. With this, you don't know how many times it's going to take for Basalt Monolith to result in exactly these things happening in the correct order before the Emrakul shows up. It could be 10 activations, it could be 3,000 activations. You just don't know, and that is not legal in the tournament rules, and if you try to play this deck in a paper tournament, you will pile up slow play warnings until you are removed from the event. I played this deck one time before on the channel. It was 4 years ago. I said I'd never do it again, but guess what? Never say never. And in the comments on that video, there were some people very mad about the definition of deterministic, and of course I'll get there eventually. What's the difference? And I have no control over that. I don't make Magic policy. I really don't. I'm just telling you. That's why this deck is shadow banned, although all the cards are legal, which seemed like the perfect time to trot out a shadow ban deck that's in no danger of being actually banned 2 days before some number of cards actually do get banned. This format is dead and in the dirt. It will be totally different tomorrow. Let's have some fun while we still have this broken, grief-ridden format. This is 4 Horsemen combo. I'm getting in there. Let's do it. I'm on the play in round number 1. I am going to keep Island Ponder, baby. This deck can win on turn 2 with a Ancient Tomb Orb turn 2 monolith start, but it can also take its sweet old time and sculpt a situation where the combo works. I'm going to Thoughtseize first because the format's so broken. All right. Herald, Thought-Knot Seer, 2 petals. We're playing against Eldrazi. I'm going to take Thought-Knot Seer because that's the thing that affects my combo deck. Temple, Herald. They might hold back these Lotus Petals because Glaring Fleshbreaker is a card in the format. I'm going to Brainstorm first. Sad, this therapy would have been so messed up. I just wanted to give myself a chance to find a fetch land, which did not happen, but therapy on Lotus Petal would have been a delight. All right, I'm going to put back Academy Ruins. Conrad's really interesting because obviously this card is not meant to be in my hand, but also it's kind of castable, and then it's like it's safe from there. Okay, I'm just gonna move cards around. There is Scalding Tarn, but that is like, that's a shuffle, but I could just shuffle. Okay, if they don't dump out these Lotus Petals, I'm going to get them real good. Okay, attack for 2. It's Cabal Therapy time. I could also Brazen Borrow Herald and then therapy that. But then I don't have Brazen Borrower. I'm not that worried about Herald. I'm realizing right now that I had the conscious thought in my head, this deck should have an Undercity Sewers in it. And then I did not actually add one. That sucks. Well, that's slightly less card selection than I would have liked. I don't have A or B for the combo. If I draw Sir Conrad, I could cast it and it would actually be really good here. Oh no, it's all falling apart. I can hardcast Force now. Chalice on 1. I can Brazen Borrow that. That's okay. Opponent's attacking me. In the end step, I'm going to bounce Chalice and then cast Brazen Borrower. I'm not winning this race, but they do have 2 Ancient Tombs in play. Okay, we're halfway there. Back with Borrower. I could flashback Therapy and name the Chalice of the Void right now. I think that's actually better than trying to do anything else here. Chalice of the Void. Sowing Mycospawn in hand with no green. That's pretty terrifying, though. I'm going to play City of Traders and Basalt Monolith. I can Force of Will with this if I need to. And now we're just looking for the Orb. Ponder. I have 10 mana, which is somehow still not close to casting Emrakul, but now we win. Okay, Mesmeric Orb. And welcome to the Horse Zone. Opponent. They know the vibe. They just give it up. Okay, they don't want to see my deck. They don't want to sit through this. I appreciate that. Okay. This deck features a full juke sideboard that I am going to do basically every round because people are prepared for graveyards these days thanks to Grief and Reanimator. I have a small selection of interaction with Brazen Borrowers, removal, and then some spells that I'm probably not going to bring in for this matchup, and then we just become Omnishow. And to do all that, this large pile of cards comes out. Weirdly, Conrad is just like fine. A 5/4 that I can ramp into. I'm not embarrassed. A Spell Pierce does play versus Kozilek's Command and Chalice of the Void, but I'm on the draw where it's worse. Narcomoeba can block and pitch to Force, which isn't exciting, but isn't the most horrendous thing either. Yeah, I think Conrad is the cut, despite my love, my acknowledgement of the fair 5-mana Conrad being potentially a reasonable game object in this matchup. Okay, let's go. Hey, my hand is not very good versus Chalice of the Void, but it's fine versus other stuff. Ancient Tomb, Chalice of the Void, perfect. We did it. I think I'm just going to Island Go. Without an Undercity Sewers in my deck, running out that fetch land doesn't make a lot of sense. Null Rod. Okay, I boarded out all my artifacts. I would love a Emrakul or a Show and Tell right now, so I could vault for the other one. Didn't get there. I could just cast Narcomoeba now, or I could start the vaulting process. I can't get 2 cards into my hand, which is the problem with Vault right now. A Wasteland. All right. How prisony are they? If they can add to the board right now, I'm probably in trouble, but if their play is like Wasteland, another Lock Beast, pass, I am applying pressure. Kozilek's command for exile mode and make spawns. Okay. Archimage is gone. Herald. Tapping the Wasteland to do that. Oh, this is an opportunity to get 2 cards in my hand. If I vault now, what I want is Emrakul and Show and Tell in the same pile. There's 2 Emrakuls. Get rid of those. A bunch of unplayables. Omniscience, Brainstorm, nope. Show and Tell, Omniscience, okay. What does this do? This puts Omniscience into play next turn and then just dies because I can't cantrip. I draw Show and Tell this turn. I draw Omniscience next turn. I put Omniscience into play next turn. And then I can Brazen Borrower, Brainstorm, hope I do anything at that point. It's risky, but I don't see this getting better. We've got Thoughtseize on the bottom, then Tarn. Oh, I could bounce Chalice with Brazen Borrower. Oh, this is my upkeep. No, I can't. All right. Borrower, Show, Omniscience. I'm going to draw Omniscience and try to throw them off the scent of what's important here if they happen to have Thought-Knot Seer. A forest. Uh-oh. That could be really bad if they kill 3 of my lands this turn. Yeah, if they have Myco Spawn, I actually just lose everything right now. The Spawn attacked. That's good. That means they don't have things to spend that mana on. Or no, you could just sacrifice this. Never mind. It's not Lotus Petal. It gets to attack and battle. And sacrifice. Okay, so Myco Spawn is bad, obviously. But it's not as bad as I originally thought, because this cycle of plays was going to take multiple turns anyway. So if I just draw the Brazen Borrower, Show and Tell, like this last card needs to be an actual banger. Or we might just still be doing it here. Yeah, it takes 6. Puts me to 8. When I tap Ancient Tomb, I'll be at 6. And then Brainstorm has to save me. And they can't have a good spell here. Oh no. What is this shit? Oh, Null Drifter. That is not bad. Okay. You're saying there's a chance. Ancient Tomb, fetch, basic island, Show and Tell. Omniscience goes in, but they're a deck, so like they could put in spells. Petty Theft, Chalice of the Void. Now I get 3 looks off Brainstorm, 3 looks to rule them all. Emrakul, baby, let's go. Ah. We made a run out of it. Okay, now they know I've juked. What do I do with that information? Yeah, they applied just so much pressure that maybe I need to mulligan more aggressively. I'm on the play now where Spell Pierce is a lot better, which means I can get probably these 2 Cabal Therapies out of the deck. That gives me 9 answers to a turn 1 Show and Tell, plus the 4 Brazen Borrowers that can remove it. Yeah, let's party. Thoughtseize, Force of Will, and then I'm just Borrower gaming. In Borrowers, depending on how my opponent comes out here, Borrowers could just chip apart an Ancient Tomb plan. Kind of stinks I have to fetch a non-basic here, which sets back my Brazen Borrowers, but they mold a 5 and they're going to get Thoughtseized. If they then also Wasteland me, they're pretty far behind on just raw game resources. Chalice, Fleshraker. I actually don't care about Chalice with this hand. I'm going to take Fleshraker, because my hand is just a Brazen Borrow stuff and then attack them for 3 a bunch of times. And if they have to tap Ancient Tomb to redeploy the same thing multiple times, that works for me. The 3rd Borrower. Okay. The plan is coming together. Cavern of Souls is potentially good against this. Force of Will, if they actually drew a spell. Bounce the Chalice. Okay. Now we're in the zone. If they just replay Chalice this turn, I'll cast Brazen Borrower and bash. They have Forest, Chalice, 1 unknown in hand. Oh no. They drew an Eldrazi spell. Yikes, what a good spell to draw. Alright, well, I'm casting Brazen Borrower. Yeah, running the 2 cards I didn't know about were Cavern of Souls into Sowing Myco Spawn. Not a bad run. However, they have tapped Ancient Tomb 3 times already this game, and their hand is now Forest. Ancient Tomb, attack for 3. There's the Forest. Maybe don't cast a giant spell. They're attacking for 3. I think I should just cast Brazen Borrower and not Petty Theft the Chalice. This puts them on a 2-turn clock. Right now I can do things without getting hurt. Okay, they're at 5. Half of their mana is Ancient Tombs. I do have Force Blue card if they try to cast 2 spells or cast a non-Eldrazi, or if they just brick. Uh-oh, an Eldrazi. Fleshraker. I don't think I care about that with 1 card in their hand. Doesn't reach, it doesn't fly. They're attacking for 3. And scooping it up, undefeated in 2024 with 4 Horsemen. Let's keep it going.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 2 with a 1-lander with Brainstorm, but the combo is rolled up. I'm going to try it. Risk it for the biscuit. There's 20 lands in my deck, which means slightly better than 1 in 3 cards is a land, and Brainstorm looks at 3 cards. What could go wrong? The math doesn't lie. Decks don't care about your feelings. A Bloodstained Mire? Okay. Probably some combo deck. But guess what? I'm also some combo deck. Brainstorm, don't fail me. We did it. Okay, I'm going to put Narcomoeba all the way back, and I'm just going to shove the first Mesmeric Orb. And I am going to fetch basics because I don't need black mana to combo from hand. It's also a little awkward if they're Reanimator. They could just like fetch, float a mana in the end step, mill a card for free. This down and dirty Mesmeric Orb is not a self-contained game ender. Though I have beat control decks with just resolving Mesmeric Orb before. Especially 2 of them. Like decks that are trying to like spend a bunch of mana on random shit. But that doesn't kill you very quickly. Orb can get it done. Okay, Orb. Lost to Thoughtseize, lost to Sea. Land for the win? Easy, easy. I will get Underground Sea this time. And Monolith. How'd we do? Are you a Storm deck that can't interact, or are you going to now reveal that you are a Force of Will deck? Force of Will, pitching Ponder. All right, I got another one, don't worry. Okay, they're fetching now. Got spells to cast. Okay, maybe Grixis Delver? Grixis Delver confirmed, all right. That Wasteland is bad news. Could have played around it, was busy shoving. I can use these orb triggers to clear Brainstorm cards, which is cool, but I'm mostly just trying to draw a land here. Okay, I did the opposite. Brainstorm, put back Emrakul, and I guess Orb is resolved now, but these decks do play Mind Collapse, is that what that card is called? The Rakdos Dreadbore that can kill whatever. That only kills 1-drops though. Creatures Planeswalkers 1-drops, right? I think. Alright, I think we're safe with Mesmeric Orb in play. I'm going to put back Emrakul in the backup Orb. This also means that Limdual's Vault would end up providing me with the 3rd card that I see, or the 4th card that I see, not the first one. I don't know, it's weird. Okay, Channeler getting in. We're now quite certain they're a Daze deck. Big ol' Schmirko. I could Brainstorm now, try to find a land that gets me ahead of Daze. I could also Limdual's Vault in the end step. That might draw out a Daze, which is just as good. I'm going to Vault in the end step. I hope they counter this. They did not. All right. That's fine. We've got. I am not going to shuffle this. Okay, so the first 3 cards are going to be milled, which means I would like to draw Ancient Tomb. And Narcomoeba, Force of Will, Scalding Tarn go to the graveyard. I can't put the Emrakul in the graveyard because then I lose my Ancient Tomb. Narcomoeba arriving as a blocker, though. That's happening. Just like we drew it up. Ancient Tomb. I'm going to leave the Tomb untapped. I don't think I'm going to Brainstorm this turn, even if they do a Force of Will. And they've already gone past 2 forces. All right. Opponent asked, how horsey are we getting here? And I said 100% horse. Okay, so I know this is going to mill Emrakul. And I'm going to try to get all my Narcomoebas out of the deck first. That just dilutes the hits for the next round. I guess it's the same, though, because The Narcomoebas are good hits anyway. I do only have 2 mana up, which means if they do main deck Graveyard Hate, I can't play around it. Wasteland too good. Found an Narcomoeba. Okay, that's 3 of those now. I'll let Emrakul resolve, and then we could get back to work. Now I'm looking for Dread Return and Sir Conrad before I hit Emrakul. There's Dread Return, and it's 50-50 Emrakul versus Conrad. And another reason for the Emrakul construction, I mentioned playing around Graveyard Hate, but it also means you have multiple shots with your Narcomoebas. Like Cephalid Breakfast, if they Force of Will Dread Return, Narcomoebas are gone. Here we just mill till we hit an Emrakul, Narcomoebas are back in the mix, and we're off. Both Dread Returns milled. Just trying to win our coin flip here. We lost our coin flip. And this is why you can't play this deck. 4th Narcomoebas arrived. I feel like that should let me play around days with Dread Return if I sack an extra creature. I need a Flavor Judge. There's Conrad. Back to a 50-50. Hit Dread Return before we hit Emrakul. 2 of each. Hit the second Conrad. And we found Dread Return. Okay, Dread Return. Targeting Sir Conrad. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, now they're scooping. And once you have Conrad in play, I guess I didn't talk about this yet. Whenever a creature dies, a creature card is put in a graveyard from anywhere, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Conrad deals 1 to each opponent. That means that when you mill over Narcomoeba, they take 1. When Narcomoeba comes into play, they take 1. Or you could decline it and then just mill till you hit Emrakul. Emrakul going into the graveyard is 1. Then the Emrakul shuffle is 1 for every card in your graveyard, or 1 for every creature in your graveyard, and they die eventually. And like, that wasn't bad to execute. It was fine. It takes less time than Food Chain or Bomberman does, but it also, we could see why you can't just declare that in paper. I am making the juke. And this is a full 15 card juke. Every card in my sideboard is useful here. I think I want Cabal Therapy more than I want Narcomoeba. Or no, Limdul's Vault. No, Limdul's Vault puts together Show and Tell. What am I talking about? That card's great. Shout out to Omni Joe, channel supporter and Limdul's Vault enthusiast. 15 cards out, 15 cards in, and we are just Omni Show now. Or Brazen Borrower Beatdown, as has been demonstrated. A Show and Tell with nothing to show and no cantrips. I don't love this. I think I am going to keep this double protected A of my combo, though, and try to find a B. They didn't lead on a creature. That's good news. All right, well, keep the faith, folks. It's there. It's always there. Now they got a spell. I'm soft to Wasteland at this point. Psychic Frog. I don't really want to play against this card, but I also don't want to spend Force of Will on it. Let's just draw Ancient Tomb off the top and win right now. Cabal Therapy. Okay. I'm going to name Wasteland. JK. Not allowed. I'm going to name Force of Will. I would name Wasteland if it was allowed, though. I'm more worried about that than Force. We did get one. Okay. Their hand is another Frog, Brainstorm, Murktide. They do get 2 draw steps, and Wasteland is a nightmare. But otherwise, I'm ready to shove. I don't think Grixis Delver can beat an Emrakul once it's in play. Ponder. I'm going to Spell Pierce that. Really anything to slow them down here is good news for me. Cool. All right. I have perfect information, and Emrakul is bigger than their stuff. Their hand is 2 Brainstorms and a Murktide right now. And I get to resolve the Show and Tell and still have Force backed up. Bang! Juked. I feel good about this game right now. Go. I could force an Edict if they have something like Shoulder's Edict. They can't target Emrakul with Collapse or anything like that. It is not currently an era of Legacy where Delver sideboards sideboard Caracas, though that has been done in the past. Generally in Rug Delver decks that can crop rotation for it. Okay. B-Storm. What they could do is get enough permanence into play to survive 1 attack and then kill me on the backswing, but I'm at 19. The frogs can jump the Murktide. Like, when a frog jumps, Murktide gets bigger. Just have to be aware of all these little combat tricks. And then I have to decide if I'm more worried about Murktide Regen or Psychic Frog. If just all of these creatures turn sideways this turn, do I want to deny them a card draw or deny them their biggest threat? They said I've been successfully juked. Yep. Yes, indeed. 15 cards out, 15 cards in, and we remain undefeated. Welcome to TopDeck.gg, your community's home for everything competitive Magic has to offer. If you're hosting an event, playing for a huge prize, or advertising your events to thousands of players, we've got you covered. Using intuitive pairing software, playing Magic is a breeze. Players just have to sign up online, then scan the QR code in store. Give competitors the gift of perfect information as their bracket updates in real time. The self-reporting software saves you time and leaves paper match slips in the past. Leave the heavy lifting to topdeck.gg so your community can relax and focus on playing Magic. I'm on the play in round 3 versus Einstein. This is Brady Monroe, a former Pittsburgh Wizard who has gone back home since finishing college. He's been doing a lot with Nadu lately. I think my hand is fine. Disruption and a cantrip and a way to shuffle the cantrip. It would be hard to talk me out of a hand like this. Just ignore these 3 cards on the right. This hand I'm probably keeping against all opponents. What you doing? Mull to 6? I'll take another one. Yeah, Nadu confirmed. Am I worried about high rolling into the combo, or am I worried about card selection? I'm going to deny the card selection. If he just draws Nadu, we're probably dead, but I think that is the best way to stop that from happening. Phenomenal versions of cards. I haven't played against Brady online before, and just great taste in card selection here. Okay, Brainstorm. I'd like Dread Return back in my deck. Dread Return Emberghoul go back. Those are easy choices. Keep Narcomoeba as a blue card. And I'm just going to fetch another Underground Sea. Wish it was Undercity Sewers. Whoops. I swear I thought of it and then just forgot to do it. Living Wish. Okay, so this is going to be a Nadu. This is kind of the new build of Nadu, where you get 7 of them. Oh, Cavern of Souls. Juked me real good. Brainstorm. I'd love a Thoughtseize, or Cabal Therapy is good too, though. I'm going to put back City and Academy Ruins. I wish it was Academy. Wait, Emrakul is so much worse than both those cards. I should have kept the Academy Ruins. I was just thinking about my next play already. All right, I'm going to name Nomad's Encore with this. But wishing for the Cavern means it might already have the Nadu. Yeah, did actually rip it. Okay, so going to resolve Nadu here. But Nadu is a different type of thing than Nomads is. So even if Nadu resolves, I could then force the Bristly Bill or the Zenith or the Nomad or whatever comes next. And Nadu as is just a 3/4. And if he sandbags, I could just play Narcomoeba Flashback Therapy. Named Wizard, which Nadu is. There you are. I really need to get something together. Oh, I've seen a lot of cards this game and they have not been my combo pieces. There we go. Okay. I'm going to vault this turn and be pretty aggressive about my piles. I would very much like to vault into a and B. There's the Catacombs, 2 cards in hand. Nadu does have power and toughness, even if it's not shredding. Then Duel's Vault, let's go. Let me just see A and B in the first pile. Monolith is there. Monolith Ponder. I don't think Ponder is good enough on its own. With Nadu in play at 13 life, I do have to be a little discerning here. Brazen Borrower, actively bad with, I don't want to bounce Nadu and give cards to my opponent. I'm going to pay the life. But Monolith on top, and then any order under that, just in case we end up all the way back around. Okay, I actually will stop on Orb here. I'm not going to pay the life. If I put... Now I have to predict how I'm going to draw these cards, then also how many I'm going to mill with Orb. If I put Orb, one of them will resolve. And if the first one resolves, then Orb Narcomoeba get milled. And then I'm going to draw Academy Ruins after that, and then I can mill myself into a Monolith. And that's a game plan. I have 4 turns to execute all that. Orb. Okay, that resolved. Good news. I can play out Narcomoeba as a blocker if I need to, but I prefer it as Force of Will fodder right now. Mills 1. Uro. You're welcome. That sucks. I just tripled my opponent's clock. I'm going to force Uro because I actually can't beat it. Even though it just can come back next turn. This is bad. I think I have to float 2 mana here and just mill all of the cards. I'm not going to have time for rebuying a Basalt Monolith. Okay, there's a Narcomoeba here. Drawing random Ponder into Basalt Monolith for the win? Not quite. Grab a second Orb Or I could just shuffle. Second orb doesn't do anything. With the Uro in play, I have no faith in that. This is just going to be a shuffle. Come on, Monolith. Monolith. Oh my goodness. Did you have a force the whole time, or do I win? Oh, we're in. We're in. Welcome to the Horse Factory. With this Emrakul in my hand for absolutely no reason. Trying to think of what card I could care about here. Because I do have the freebie of sacking Narcomoeba and then just going through the deck again. I have Cabal Therapy in the graveyard right now. There's also a Sir Conrad there. There's one Emrakul, 2 Dread Return, 1 Narcomoeba left in the deck. I probably should just Therapy first so I know what's going on. Okay, there's 2 Therapies in my graveyard now. That means I could hit the hand twice and then just loop again. All right. I'd like to know what's going on over there. I'm going to name, I guess, Endurance first. I don't think I care, though. Got it, though. Spiked Endurance, which would not have actually stopped my combo because I'm this deck and not a Cephalid Breakfast deck. Okay, now I could just go. Though I have to go around again anyway, but it's game over at this point. I don't need to take that Grist. I don't care. But I have to go around anyway. It doesn't matter. All right, yeah, Cabal Therapy, the Grist, too. Let's just take it all. Grist, the Hunger Tide. Your hand is Bayou. And this is going to take a while, but we definitely win. 1820 on my clock when I'm starting this combo from 0. And I'm going to get the other Narcomoeba out. Okay, there he goes. He just wanted to see the Emrakul. Horsing around. And once again, we juke. Never stop juking. 15 cards in, 15 cards out. I want to see my opponent Zenith or wish for a Collector Oof and then just die. That's what I'm looking for here. And yeah, I like the discard. I could look up his list. He just top 8'd a tournament like 2 days ago. I'm recording this on Tuesday, and Brady made, I think, the finals of the Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy with Nadu over the weekend. Okay, here we go. I assume this deck can Living Wish for Caracas, though, if it doesn't already main deck the Caracas. So that is a small layer of concern. I'm keeping this, though. Zenith for 0. That happens. Okay. Am I a sniper today with this Cabal Therapy? Or do I want to wait a turn, do some sculpting, then check the hand? With the Living Wishes in the deck, there's only 3 Nadus now. I think I'm going to Therapy Living Wish. It's like we're playing Magic in 2001. Cabal Therapy naming Living Wish. 2 Force of Wills. All right, well, I should have gone with the obvious answer, it seems. I can beat a Force of Will, though. Just please don't draw action. Ponder is slow action. Cabal Therapy is a lot worse now that most of my Narcomoebas are out and I have no way to mill into them. I went with Verdant Catacombs instead of Lush Portico after not shuffling Ponder. That smells like 1 mana interaction to me. Fetch land is the nuts. I have 2 vaults now, which means Show and Tell and Emrakul are in reach. I'm going to get rid of Ancient Tomb and Basic Island, and then fetch for another Underground Sea and cast Ponder. I don't think this is a land denial deck in any capacity, but if it is, I'm already exposed to Wasteland. There's the other Catacombs. And if this Force of Will ends up being used offensively to shove a combo in, that's actually bad for me. Zenith for 2. I don't think I'm going to fight over this. I hope it gets Collector Roof. Keen-Eyed Curator. Okay. That's like basically the same thing. Except it might be a 7/7. Which is very big if you're not familiar with numbers. 7 is huge. Okay, do I want to do Pondering and Brainstorming, or do I want to Limdual's Vault? I could Ponder first and then still Limdual's Vault. Okay, there's Emrakul. Do not shuffle this. And then I can Vault for Show and Tell with Force Protection. This Curator can eat Cabal Therapy this turn. There are instance lands and sorceries in the graveyard, so this can't become 7/7 with what we have right now. Another card type would have to enter. This card's sick. I've been cubing a lot lately, and I have an appreciation for a 7/7 creature. There's the Portico. End step, Underground Sea, and Limdual's Vault. Straight into the vault we go. You're forcing that. Force pitching Uro, which means there might be another force still back. I'm going to force pitching Spell Pierce. There's so much mana over there. Show and Tell and Omniscience and Cabal Therapy. Wow. Okay. I'm not going to pay the life. And I'm going to set up a full Emrakul sweep for next turn. I go land, Omniscience, Show and Tell, Cabal Therapy. Draw for turn, Brainstorm. Hope you don't have Hull Breacher in your deck. And then put back Limdual's Vault and Omniscience. And I'm going to play this Island. And next turn, Cabal Therapy, naming Force of Will, Show and Tell, put an Omniscience, cast Emrakul. That's the plan. Curator can eat some instants and lands here. Bunch of instants gone. If opponent has Veil of Summer and Force Blue card, they can beat me here. I'm otherwise feeling pretty good. Or if the two unknown cards in hand are Nadu Nomad, probably in trouble. Could still theoretically beat that, though. That Limdual's Vault was straight fire. Cabal Therapy. And name Force of Will. We know there's one. Please don't have a different counterspell. Nadu Endurance. Okay. We did it. Show and Tell. The Juke. Another victim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could have 8 permanents, though. Eating Cabal Therapy in response. That's fine. Put in Omniscience. You put in Nadu. I cast Emrakul. Still flash in Endurance. I think I'm over the line here, though. Or, no, actually, I'm not. Endurance plus Keen-Eyed Curator are actually enough to kill me here because there will be a creature in the graveyard. Wow, I hate that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, playing Endurance now. That's definitely correct. And the top of my deck is Limdual's Vault, which is not helpful. Yeah, I'm actually dead if I attack. That's really interesting. So what I need to do is hold for a turn. Yeah, there's exactly 1 mana up. You float that mana stack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm exactly dead at 10. I need to hold for a turn, Limdual's Vault for another Emrakul. Sick. Just enough permanence here. Yeah, another Emrakul or a Fatal Push. Just something that clears the runway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can also just put me to 3, so Limdual's Vault is worse. Good Living Wish for Caracas right now. I need my opponent to draw a brick here before anything else happens. Oh, wow. Had enough. Interesting. I mean, I know I have Limdual's Vault. Okay, I guess he's just had enough. GG's, and we remain undefeated. Maybe this deck is shadow banned for good reason. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the draw in round 4 with a turn 2 Goldfish. I'm going to keep... I'd love to rip a Force of Will and protect this, but I'm certainly not going to mulligan this gas start here. Once upon a time, so we're not playing against a blue deck, but it's probably a wasteland deck. How do I balance those two facts? Not being a blue deck is great. Oh, if this is Cradle Control, I don't think they have anything to stop me from just going. Even this Endurance that's face up. Okay. Oh, they could Zenith for Collector Oof in the main, I suppose. But it would take something special to do that from the position they're in. Okay. This is a very good matchup to be on the draw with the Goldfish against. And it could be something else, I guess, but these cards are telling me Cradle Control more than anything else. Okay, we milled another Endurance. There's 2 main deck Endurances. Good thing they have all those for the graveyard decks, lol. Emrakul, don't care. Windswept Teeth. Unless they just cast from hand their one-of Collector Roof right now. I mostly feel okay right now. White of the Reliquary ain't it. I think we win. At this point, they would need a main deck Force of Vigor or something truly obscene. And mill 1. Force of Will gone. That is the card I wanted, but now I know I don't really need it. Monolith, GG. Show me why I'm wrong. And we begin the loop, not giving a single poop about endurance. And I mentioned in the deck tech why we're doing this at all compared to just Thassa's Oracle. And this is why. I would have to figure this out. If I was on Self-Lit Breakfast, I'd have to navigate this endurance somehow. But I'm not on Self-Lit Breakfast. I'm on 4 Horsemen. I love when you talk about a theoretical thing in the deck tech with your silly deck, and then it happens. It happens in a way that is irrefutable, and this is why this exists. Okay, there goes Emrakul. I'm going to respond and get some Narcomoebas into play. In this moment, they should be realizing that their endurance is not going to help them. There goes a Narco. As has come up in the previous rounds, it's not actually correct or better to put your Narcomoebas into play over top of your Emrakul trigger. But on Magic Online, it just saves me 4 clicks the second time through. Though I guess it's costing me like 20-something clicks now to do it. Never mind, I'm off it. Emrakul resolves. Let's start again. Back into the horse. That's the saying, right? When you fall, you get back into the horse. Narcomoeba, here we go. Rewarded for realizing I was wasting time with a quick Narcomoeba. Cabal Therapy, I'm just going to zap this off on Endurance right now. Not that I care about Endurance, I just want to make sure the rest of the hand isn't going to surprise me. Endurance is gone. White Reclaimer, whatever, yep, you're dead. It's just going to take a few minutes. Okay, good. They realized that I'm going to get there. And now I will bring in at least 13 cards. Might not be the full 15 here, or at least 12 cards. Spell Pierce, Flusterstorm, in Zenith, Natural Order, Force of Vigor, though I don't care about Force of Vigor now that I'm on this. A Dread Return. Don't go in that pile. What are you doing? That doesn't help me. All right, here we go. A Narcomoebas build out my Force of Wills. Narcomoeba also enables Cabal Therapy. I'm weighing the actual pros and cons of Narcomoeba being in my deck versus cards like Spell Pierce and Flusterstorm. Cradle Control does play a bunch of Thought Seizes after board. I think I am going to do the full 15 juke. I've already started adding cards to my deck. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Built the pile backwards at the very end. Okay. That would have been embarrassing. But luckily it was the last 3 cards we were debating anyway. Alright. All this shit out, all this shit in. How does Conrad work? Whenever another creature dies or a creature is put in a graveyard from anywhere, it's any creature from anyone. Cradle Control does move creatures around quite a bit, but not 20 of them over the course of a game. Alright, yeah. I'm just going to bring in the extra interaction and the juke. I am now a legal legacy deck. Toxic Deluge could do a lot here, and obviously they're a creature deck. If I just get Thoughtseized, it could be bad, but if they dump out like 3 Hierarchs and an Elvish Reclaimer, and then I deluge their life away, could buy me a lot of time to make the rest of this work. Leyline of the Void. Oh no! Whatever will I do against that? And they kept a 0-lander on the strength of it? Jeez. Okay. I'm going to play this Underground Sea and pass. If they do find a land and start Thoughtseizing me, I can brainstorm my deluge away. Okay. Every time my opponent passes without a land drop and then has a land drop on the following turn, I wonder if they misclicked, because it's just so weird for that to happen and then immediately spike. I guess it's like 1 out of 3, roughly, that they hit. Okay. Ignoble Hierarch. Keeping the 1-lander is weakening them into the deluge pretty badly. I'm not going to end step this Brainstorm. You can't make me do it. I will. Main phase this Brainstorm. Academy Ruin's not going to do much this game. There's Emrakul, and I think I can get rid of one of the Ancient Tombs and fetch Cabal Therapy. I kind of want to name Thoughtseize. Cabal Therapy, naming Thoughtseize. I just don't want my hand messed with. And I feel like I can absorb most other things they might do. Okay. A bunch of creatures. And including a land, so they must have misclicked turn 1. Because they've demonstrated to me that they had access to at least one land on turn 1, even if they didn't want to play a turn 1 Dryad Arbor. I would love to see Dryad Arbor, Elvish Reclaimer, Ignoble Hierarch play this turn, and then just wipe it all up, and we restart. That Natural Order is eventually a concern, though. Iggy, Reclaimer, Zenith for 0, let's go. 4 for 1. They are 2 turns away from Natural Ordering anyway, and this deck plays Atraxa. A Ponder is a nice rebuild, but I have to deluge this turn. X equals 2 gets them all. Okay, they could play Dryad Arbor this turn, and then they're 1 land away from Atraxa to reload, so I do need to figure out my situation. I need this Ponder to deliver a discard spell or a... Okay, Collector Roof, you did it. I need Ponder to deliver a discard spell or a show and tell. Okay, Flusterstorm does it. Ponder. I have another Ponder accessible. I'm going to fetch. Ponder again. Just trying to move stuff around. Find that show and tell. Fatal Push, Omniscience. I don't really need Omniscience. Fatal Push is solid, but it's not what I actually want here. If they were to draw something like White of the Reliquary, if they just draw a land and slam Natural Order, I'd rather shuffle. But if they draw White of the Reliquary or Fiend Artisan, I'd rather Fatal Push in hand. So I am going to just pack the Fatal Push. Also, if they draw the land and slam Natural Order, and I fluster the order and kill whichever creature they didn't sack to it, that's great for me. Okay, so that was smart. They're attacking with the second most important creature. But this also sets them back a mana on the Natural Order in their hand. Maybe I was just supposed to hold that and try to absorb that damage for a little bit. This Flooded Strand gets rid of the Omniscience on top of the deck, and then we're digging again. Those are both of the removal spells that I play used already. There's 4 Brazen Borrowers, but it's not really what I'm interested in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I can still Flusterstorm this Natural Order, but barely. Yeah, close call. I'm glad they attacked with the Dryad Arbor last turn, or this would have resolved. Close one. Okay, they paid for one of them. That'll show me. Might as well. We both know that mana's not doing anything else. No attack with Collector. If they think that's so important that they're afraid of just like running it into a errant Snapcaster Mage or something. Right, out of fetchables, that is an important metric. Show and tell. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Just yell the name of the card. It's always there. Put in Emrakul. Hope they don't draw Grist this turn. Pass. Literally just fade Grist. Okay, they passed the turn. All I gotta do is attack now. I'm at 15, so I don't care if they float mana and jump in Endurance after combat. That just doesn't matter. Yeah, they're just sacking 6 permanents. They want to play it out, though. Let's go. If there is a Karakas in the deck, I guess they are playing 2 and out. But they're out of time to Grist or tutor the Karakas with a Reclaim or anything. And we are 4-0. We got a trophy match with the Forbidden Legacy deck coming.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I'm on the play in the final trophy round. This hand has half the combo and a bunch of mana, but this is too many bricks in the opener. I'm going to mulligan. Oh yeah. I'm going to keep this. Bottom Dread Return, and I'm going to lead on Thoughtseize and hope they don't play Wasteland. Basically, this is a decision whether I think that they're going to be more broken than me or more fair than me. Okay. Vexing Bauble I don't care about. Fleshraker is good and castable. Linebreaker is better, but not castable. Thought-Knot Seer is the one I'm worried about, though. But I could Cabal Therapy Thought-Knot Seer if I wait. Okay, I'm just going to take Thought-Knot Seer and hope they don't draw Lotus Petal. Bad news is they're definitely a Wasteland deck. Good news is not currently in their hand. Ancient Tomb. Vexing Bauble number 1. Are they going to play out both, or are they going to draw a card? Vexing Bauble number 2. All right, there they are. Dread Return Cost 0. That is actually a problem. It just occurred to me. Uh-oh. I'm going to start with Ponder. I'm going to have to figure out how I'm winning this game, actually. There's Sir Conrad on the hard cast. I think Brainstorm is the card I'm going to keep here. And then I'm going to Cabal Therapy, Glaring Fleshraker. Glaring Fleshraker. They drew a colored source. That sucks. Okay, I will be under pressure starting next turn. And I don't actually know how I'm going to win this. I can't Brazen Borrow both Baubles. Linebreaker has Trample, so I can't just block with Narcomoeba every turn forever. Though, I do have enough Narcomoebas to trade with Linebreaker. And I can just put 4 Toughness into play every turn as we churn looking for a different answer. Interesting. Brazen Borrower, do you help here? I think I got a Brainstorm. I'm looking for those land drops. Got them. All right. Wall Therapy's out. I could set up the combo next turn if I put away this Brazen Borrower. I can vault for... Okay, I think assembling the combo is step 1 here. So losing this Brazen Borrower sucks real bad. Okay. Limdul's Vault has to find a orb, and then I need them to kind of brick off. That's really bad, also. It's not the brick I was looking for. All right, Limdul's Vault. I still need an orb to play the game. Okay, Vexing Bauble. We finally found a weakness for this deck. Get rid of this. There's the orb. Don't shuffle this. The Emrakul Sir Conrad. And casting Sir Conrad is just so appealing to me. I don't think that's actually going to happen, though. I'm going to take 4 damage this turn. That puts me to 7. Then I take 1 on the following turn because I block, or I could block with 4 Narcomoebas. All right. I'm not going to have 2 black for this Conrad. Okay. Emrakul, Conrad, Ruins, Tomb, Orb. Okay, that happens. Oh, I have to tap Ancient Tomb in between here. Did I account for that? 7, 4, 8, 9, 10. I'm at 1. I'm at 1. Okay. I am at 1 life. I need them to literally not come up with an Eldrazi for 2 turns here. The third Bauble. Okay. They could just draw 2 cards and kill me and still have a Bauble in play. Bad news, everybody. I think I'm going to play Mesmeric Orb now. Drop the Ancient Tomb, pass. They really should draw 2 cards right now. And it looks like they have figured that out. I hope they just draw 3 Eldrazi Temples. No creatures in the hand. Fingers crossed. They just milled Ancient Tomb, Kozilek's Command, Sowing Myco Spawn. None of that shit matters. Yeah, maybe I was just supposed to take this Linebreaker with those early discard effects. Yeah, we got him! Moral victory. Hope you needed that. Though I can't imagine you needed that, even if you just cast like some other card. All right, yep. Bummer. Okay. Somebody finally beat me in a game 1. It's never happened before in my life. We are definitely sideboarding here. I think the Spell Pierces are good enough versus the Baubles. And then Dread Return, Lord Liability. I do think the discard is just fine. And Flusterstorm doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. Time to go over the top. Emrakul can't be countered, so I could still Omniscience her in through a Vexing Bauble. Yeah, I was worried about Fleshraker. I was trying to dodge them having a colored source, which they didn't. And their deck isn't really flush with those. If I had Thoughtseized instead of Cabal Therapied, and there was a Thoughtseize available on that Ponder that turn, but then I would have lost the Brainstorm. Yeah, I think mostly just Vexing Bauble. Big problem for this deck. We finally found a weakness. Okay, I will keep this. I have interaction and half of my thing, and the ability to find the other half. Let's hope they mulligan to 5 to find a Leyline of the Void, and then have a non-functional hand. Fingers crossed. Nope, just kept 7. I'm going to lead on Underground Sea, even though they're a Wasteland deck, because all I want is time, and if they spend this turn Wastelanding me, that's fine. That gives me another draw step. I'm just looking for Emrakul before I'm dead. And I'm happy to make plays that slow down both of us. I have Ugin. Fascinating. Mox Diamond. Oh, I'd love to counter that. Discarded Waste. Oh wow, they're passing the turn. Brazen Borrower is about to slay. There's Omniscience. Petty Theft this Mox Diamond right now. Cool. They might just still do what they wanted to do here if they have another land and stuff to do, but hopefully that was bad for them. Flesh Raker. Double Flesh Raker. Uh-oh. How many cards are coming out of this hand right now? They could still cast Mox Diamond, which makes 2 more spawns and creates colored mana. Could actually die right now. As long as they don't play Thought Knot Seer, I could still Show and Tell Omniscience and hope for the best. This is so much. I'm getting roasted. Mox Diamond. Okay, please don't have Thought Knot Seer. Even Linebreaker dealing 1,000,000 to me still gives me a shot at this game, but if I get my thoughts knotted, I am at the whims of the top of my deck, which I kind of am anyway. All right, Emrakul off the top. Ponder. Okay, well, we're doing it. I get to look at 7 or 8 cards here. They put in nothing. Ponder. Brazen Borrower, Brainstorm. I guess I'll take the Brainstorm. And Omniscience is you may cast cards from your hand, so the Brazen Borrower on Adventure doesn't help here. Brainstorm does literally see another card, so I won't shuffle. Brainstorm. Come on, Emrakul. I don't have a shuffle up anymore. Brainstorm. Limdual's Vault. Okay, so I got it next turn. Next turn is a big ask, though. I can Petty Theft a Flesh Raker. I don't think that's where my concerns are right now. Yep, alright. Fingers crossed. I can respond to Thought Knot Seer just fine. I can bounce a Linebreaker before combat, and they didn't put in a permanent off of the Omniscience, which is really weird in their deck that is all permanents. There's green in the pool. No! No! Exile target artifact or enchantment? Ugh. Fuck my life into pieces. Okay, how do I come back from this? I don't think I do. That was exactly the card they could have. I'll pay the life for this. Force, Emrakul. I mean, there's Emrakul. That doesn't matter. I have to pay the life. There's another Emrakul. Gotta pay again. Brazen Borrower, Force, Thoughtseize. What am I even looking for? I'm looking for Brainstorm, Show and Tell, Emrakul, all in one pile together. I'll pay the life. Omniscience, nope. I'm almost dead on board here. Emrakul, Ponder. Okay, so there are 2 damage triggers happening, which put me to 6. They can attack me for 4 right now. If I take this Ponder, I just lose. Yeah, I guess I'm dead. There's Show and Tell and Emrakul, but I don't have a way to get the second one in my hand, and I'm dead underneath it. Bummer. Alright, I guess I'll stop paying life, because I'm about to be deceased on the board. And Petty Theft a Glaring Flesh Raker like it matters. You can't bounce Omniscience. Petty Theft is bounce a permanent an opponent controls. And that's so fucked, that Battle Mage. That does make sense in terms of cards that they would not have put in off Omniscience, or off Show and Tell, because these are cast triggers. Okay. We were defeated by Eldrazi in the very end. 4-1, though, with the 4 Horsemen in 2024 in a format dominated by Grief and Psychic Frog. I didn't play against any Griefs. I did play against Psychic Frog and beat its ass, though. The construction of the deck, just being able to loop through Graveyard Hate, did matter. We played against multiple Endurances that didn't matter. The juke was insane, because it's such a heavy juke, too. Just, we saw Leyline of the Voids, we saw that Raccoon Scavenging Ooze guy, we saw Collector Oofs. We saw people prioritizing things that just don't matter in Game 2, but would be devastating in Game 1. Vexing Bauble is really bad. That actually did cost us a game in major fashion. You probably need a solution to that card if you're going to try this deck, but you can only play this deck online. So if you're going to play this deck on Magic Online, you probably need a solution to Vexing Bauble. You could add colors to the deck. The last time I played it, I made it Esper. I played Teferi Time Raveler, who also lets you Dread Return at instant speed on top of your Emrakul trigger, which kind of reduces the issue of the deck if you happen to assemble all those pieces. Teferi can soft answer a Vexing Bauble on the turn you're going off. If you're white, you could also play Wrath of the Skies. That could sweep up any number of hate pieces, but they're also going to hit your orb if you have to do it for 2 or more, so watch out for that. If you're red, you get Meltdown. But really, none of that mattered until the last round, and even then, it was like, we were working on near-perfect information. Just the one piece of information we didn't have was Wastegate Battle Mage, and then in the game before that, it was we drew a colored source. I was impressed by this performance. Sad not to convert the trophy, but doing something crazy on the final day of this format that's on its way out. This is how we want to do it. Claire, thank you for asking me to play this deck. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.